sip some tea while we spilling the tea. Yeah. Real talk, real smiles, dentistry. Safe space vibes, clarity. Pull up a chair, yeah, your family.
Oh, your hair looks wonderful. Thank you. All right, we're back, people. We're back. All right, so another edition of Spilling the Teeth. I think what we should probably touch on is something that is a quiet thing that happens in a lot of practices.
Okay.
Sort of like a party of one situation.
Okay.
And what I mean by a party of one
Yeah.
is when that one is an me, worrying about me. There's no I in team, but a lot of people like to, there's certain team members that have a lot of self preservation
behaviors.
There you go.
So, like, I guess an example, if I'm trying to follow you, an example would be under the guise of just minding my business, would be someone who decides it's 5 minutes to my lunch hour. I'm not going to help in Central Stale.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad that you said that because I'm one of those people that I'm like, I'm going to just mind my business because in the sense of gossip and stuff like that, and not
I'm talking when it comes to teamwork.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, not that. Because, yeah, with gossip, I mind my business too. I'm going to listen, but I don't mind my business too. I'm not going to get engaged, but I'm going to hear it. But yes, you
lady out the window.
And you do have some team members who do practice self-preservation behaviors, and a lot of that may have to do with things outside of work. It could be home life. It could be the way they grew up. But bringing those behaviors into a practice where you work so closely together and where everyone's position is integral to the next person's position can be detrimental, because what ends up happening is you could end up with people silently resenting other team members for it.
Oh, this is true. That's a silent resentment. And let me tell you that it's one thing when it's like intentional,
right?
When they self preserve,
right?
It's another when it is. I guess I like to believe that it's inadvertent that it happens, but sometimes it becomes so repetitive that it's just kind of like second nature to like. Let me give you an example. Like, you could be doing a checkout, right? You're working at the front, you could be doing a checkout, and the assistant who's supposed to close out everything with the treatment for the appointment, they don't do that. Or they're supposed to give the patient a prescription and they don't do that. Now, mind you, they're coming up to the front with the patient already, if you're on a headset saying, hey, I'm heading up to the front with the patient, or if they call you on the phone, like at one other office that they used to do where I used to be. But there's a patient coming. And then they say, oh, I forgot, I didn't do X, Y, and Z. And I also forgot about A, B, and C too. Could you please? Thank you so much. And then the first time it's kind of like, okay, I get it. It's a little busy right now. Look at where we are on the schedule. And then a patient or two later, same situation. They might not have forgotten A, B, and C, but they did forget about L, M, N, O, and P. And then that becomes a problem. But some people may think that it is intentional, but some people, they do it so much that, not saying that they're trying to dump it on you, but it becomes dumping on you. And they're not even realizing that it creates a bottleneck up at the front. Because patients, when they're coming up, they should just be, they should be paying and going.
Yes.
It should not be
workflow.
Yeah, because, it should be like how those fancy department store places go. They come in, they check in, they get their treatment.
Right.
The treatment is posted out in the back because everything that you did clinically.
Right.
You post that out. So then that way you bring them up to the front and the patient pays. Any appointments that need to be made should be made in the back.
Correct.
And a lot of offices still struggle with that. Some assistants feel like it shouldn't be them. And the front office, think that it should be them. It should be them. And the assistant think it should be the front. Now, if you're short on time, of course, there are certain situations, but you have to keep in mind that with people at the front, that people are coming, girl, I cannot count the number of times I've worked in spaces where people just walk in. I'd like to make an appointment. I'm not a patient. And you can't sit there and rush through trying to get them
Rush to that
squared
process.
away. And then the phones are ringing. And then people from the back are bringing patients. It creates such a bottleneck.
Right.
And then stuff like that, that also adds to the silent resentment that starts to develop, whether you intentionally did it or you didn't. And I don't think a lot of people are putting anyone else's thoughts in mind, just what they need to do. Like they got blinders on.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right. You know what silent resentment also leads to?
Oh, what?
Passive aggressive behaviors. Passive aggressive behaviors. This is what I've run into. Passive aggressive behaviors based off of minding my business, or I'm just going to worry about me. Is I worked in a space where the rooms had numbers assigned to them. Treatment rooms had numbers assigned to them, and they also had color-coded bands around the instruments for those rooms.
Oh, okay.
What wasn't sort of labeled were items that you used that you weren't going to run through a sterilizer, like syringes for etch or syringes for flowable composite, those things. So they were brought on a tray, and this bugged me, was brought out of the room on the tray into the central sterilization area, wiped down, and then left. And so what would happen is no one knows where those items belong.
Or if they're even clean.
Thank you. So that happened a few times. And each time it happened, I could see who did it, and then I would make sure to wipe it down and then take it to that room as a show of, okay, this is cleaned. It was over in the central area, but I've cleaned it and put it here. And then I would say, I think this was left in the central sterilization area, even though I knew it was left intentionally. I think you forgot this. And it would be like, oh, okay. Then they would do the exact same thing again. And then I would do the exact same thing again. I think you left this. To the point where finally I said, when you put those things unlabeled in that area, no one knows where they belong or if they've been cleaned. Yes, you put them on the side that should be clean. However, it would make more sense to wipe this down in the room and then lay it so that it dries in the room that it belongs in. And I got because I was new.
Oh.
I got
You're being hazed.
We've always done it this way. It's never been a problem before. And so for me, it probably wasn't a problem before, I get it. But now it is. You've got new people here, and this universal way you had of doing things isn't so universal anymore. So this clearly would make more sense. And so for me, it was like, okay, she kept doing it, knowing even after I explained the why. Because if I'm asking to switch something up, I explain why. And if it doesn't work, go back to doing what we were doing. But then I get the passive aggressive, I'm going to put it back because that's what we normally do, which was fine. So eventually I brought it up in a meeting. And that's petty. But call me Patty LaBelle. But I brought it up in the meeting, and I said to everyone, so this is what's happening. How do you all feel about if we did? And then it was a collective, yeah, I never understood that. Yeah, that didn't make sense to me, because the hygienist would be like, I didn't know where to put it anyway, and I would just leave it there.
And no one really said anything.
It was the silent, actually, accountability. No one wanted to take accountability for it. So for me, a lot of the kind of petty drama that goes on in dental offices can be avoided. I don't like petty drama. Like, I can engage in it if needed, but I don't like to do that. That's not a good way to work as a team. Yeah. But at that point, I think we collectively decided that was probably the better way to do things, is for those particular items, leave them in the rooms and let the disinfectant dry there in the room. Part of another situation that can happen in the office is when there are things that need to be done. Everyone's aware of the thing that needs to be done, but no one really does it. But everyone is supposed to do it, but no one does it. The accountability gap.
And the thing about with gaps in accountability is that it starts to breed also. I mean, it starts breaking down trust in your team members and how or if they will show up for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there may be some days where you may not be at 100% and you might need a little assistance in something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. Like in the space that I'm currently at, I remember that there were a couple of days where, it was family life. It was, it was, I'm not gonna go in detail about it, but it was family life, personal life. And
Mm-hmm.
I definitely try not to bring my personal life to work, but it involved my father, and it was taking a strong toll on me emotionally, and I didn't want to sit home and stew in it, so I wanted to be busy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I came to work, and I made it clear, like, hey, I'm here if I'm quiet, because whenever I'm quiet, because I bring a certain energy to a space,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever I'm quiet, I think it disrupts
Right.
the energy in
Mm-hmm.
this space. So the young ladies that work with me, they'll be like, Gina, are you okay? But this particular day, I said, look, I'm just letting you know, I'm not having a good day. I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
but if I'm quiet, just know that
It's nothing personal.
it's
It's nothing
nothing
to do with the
personal.
office.
It's just that I'm not
Right.
in a space to really be very communicative. I'm not in a jovial mood. But I'm here. I'm still doing my job,
Mm-hmm.
but I might need a little extra,
Mm-hmm.
if it seems like I may be floundering a little bit. And there were moments during the day where I was, that I might not have checked someone in right on time, or I might
Right.
not have scanned something because, my attention is split.
Mm-hmm.
But I made it clear, and I'm glad that I felt comfortable and safe enough
That's good.
to communicate that. But that's because I have trust in my team.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst us, there is no I.
Right.
I mean, if there is behind, because they sit behind me, so to speak. But
Right.
since I've been there, I haven't experienced that. But I have been in spaces where that is a breeding thing
Yes.
that is just.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being in a space where you can't trust your team members. They're going to throw you under the bus for something, take something that you said or did out of context. It's kind of like having your head on the swivel.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
exhausting.
it's very exhausting. And then, them not taking accountability for their role in the position of what
Right.
even brought you to this dance. It's
Right.
just, I don't get it, girl. I
Me
don't get
neither.
it. I mean, I think people need to redefine what teamwork is and what it looks like and what it feels like. You've led more than one team, more than two teams.
Yes.
So what can you speak to that leader?
We the people. I would say for me, as if I'm going to be in a leadership role, it's really important. A couple of things I think are really important. Number one, if you're going to be leading a group of people, please don't ask them to do things that you are not willing to do yourself or
Did you
haven't
notice how I
done.
said lead, not
Yes.
manage?
Yes.
Words matter.
Yes. So I would never ask
Oh,
someone.
was that thing for me?
Yes, that was for you. That was the idea bubble going. I would never ask anyone to do anything that I'm not willing to do or I haven't done.
Mhm.
That's number one. And
That allows you to share their experience. So
exactly.
if they like don't understand, and then you can definitely map out the why.
Exactly.
Go ahead, sorry.
And also for me, leading someone is making sure you equip them to succeed, whether that be giving them all the information they need to set up that composite, meaning I need to explain to you why this doctor uses this not just look at this and take a picture of it and repeat it. Oftentimes when assistants are training other assistants, that's what they do. This is how we set it up, and this is how he likes it, and then just take a picture of this and just repeat this every time. And that's not really setting me up for success, because if we're doing a composite, a two-surface composite here that involves an interproximal surface, and then I go to set this because I've taken a picture of your setup and you told me this is how we set up composites, and then we're going to do a composite that involves only one surface and it's not involving interproximal surfaces, and I'm setting up all this stuff, and the doctor's looking at me like, why do you have bands set up? We're just doing an occlusal. You're not setting me up for success. So for me, if I'm going to be a leader of people, I'd like to give them the information, all the information that I possibly can, to make sure that they're successful. Because if they're successful and they can get through whatever it is we are trying to get through, that gives them confidence to either want to do more or be better or go to the next level. So for me, that's how leadership looks. It looks like you are helping people to reach their maximum potential. And everybody is not going to reach the potential that you think they should reach. It's helping each person reach their maximum potential. So for me, that's what it looks like. Teamwork to me looks like everybody having whatever they need to complete the mission within their role. And then teamwork also looks like I need to understand the things that you do, your pain points, and what you do in order for me to adjust what I do, so that as a team, we work together. Because there's 4 parts of the team, the dental team. There's the doctor, the admin, the assistant, and the hygienist. So if I don't understand why the hygienist says they need an hour, full hour for the patient, then I'm going to chop some time off because I feel like I could just shove somebody in somewhere. If the admin doesn't understand why the doctor needs 45 minutes for something that seems like a simple check, if you don't understand that the assistant has to bring the patient in, do pre-op with the patient, do the procedure, and then they need time afterwards to break down the room, then we're not going to be successful.
Do the note.
Exactly. So if we all, that's what teamwork looks like to me. It's everybody knowing your position and what your responsibilities are and your expectations are, but also kind of knowing a generalized, have a generalized knowledge of everyone's sort of expectation and their duties, so that you can work succinctly, so everybody works together. A lot of times when we're speaking about there's no I in team, a lot of times people are focused in on their duties and their responsibilities only, and then that makes it difficult for you to work as a team. Because I don't care that the hygienist has to take 10 minutes with this person to talk about smoking cessation. That's not my problem. I just need you to hurry up in there. You got an hour, so you should be able to finish it up. So why do I have to do your instruments for you? Or why do I have to stand in for you and do the exam while you go see the next patient? So if you don't know, then yeah, the team is not going to be that great. But that's what it looks like to me. Everybody having a collective responsibility for delivering this oral health care.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that it's not. And, because unfortunately some people that are the office manager, is just that they're managing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
not really
topic.
Not being a leader per se, and that, because even like with that too, because I have seen where people that were in a higher position, including the doctor, because a lot of times they are at the head of it,
right,
of the problem, and just not taking that responsibility. And sometimes that also, how like when a child sees how their parent behaves,
yes,
and they think that it's okay,
yes.
So when the assistant, sometimes, whether you're doing it, intentional or not, that they see that their provider is behaving like this and not taking any responsibility or accountability, that it's okay that I don't either.
Right. It's the norm. It's normally what happens in offices like when you go on social media into some of the professional forums and you hear some of the things that that auxiliaries are accepting, it's because that to them feels normal. Because that's what's been happening. The doctor has no respect for the team, so that they, work through lunch or they work after hours when you're supposed to stop. And I don't want this to be all about bashing the doctors, because that's not always what happens. And sometimes it could be when when you have two assistants, and I've done this before, I've been in this kind of space before, one assistant just really is there just for the job. And so whenever there's a big procedure coming up, they magically have to go to the bathroom. And so they're nowhere to be found. You can, in the morning huddle, you can assign them. You can say, okay, you're going to see this one, I'm going to see this one, and we're going to rotate. But, when it comes to their turn, because they don't want to sit through a root canal, nobody does, or they don't want to sit through.
I didn't mind them.
Really?
Well, because the doctor, Dr. Gunrush.
Oh yeah, he was really good.
He was so smooth.
Yes, he was really
with
good.
his so elegant and just. It was like he was performing like Doctor Strange.
Yes.
It was so magical to watch him work. I love coming in on. I hated coming in on Saturday. I like coming in to work with him on Saturday. He was so sweet.
But I guess the gist is it could be anyone in the office who decides that they're only going to look out for themselves and not necessarily look at the big picture. Like if everyone would look out for one another, it would also in turn make your life easier, because you don't have to be involved in any kind of drama or these after hour lunch meetings, because now we got to talk about the thing. Just don't do the thing.
Mm.
That makes it easier. Yes, leave the thing there. So collective responsibility, if everybody would just have the mindset of we're all responsible for getting through the day, basically delivering the oral health care that we need to deliver to the public safely and efficiently and smoothly. And all of us have a hand in that. If we would just all think of it in those terms, it'll make everyone's life easier. Because I like to say, you're at work, there's 24 hours in a day. You're supposed to sleep 8, supposed to have fun for 8, and then you're at work for 8. So those 8 that you are at work, why not make it as easy, drama free, and as smooth as possible? It just makes sense.
Yes, I totally agree.
Right.
All right, well, this wraps it up.
I guess this does wrap it up. There's no I in team.
There is no I.
But there is an I in unity. Okay?
Clock that tea.
Clock that dirt, honey.
Until next time.
Till next time.
This is tea.